day, South Africa. The City of Ekurhuleni's Disaster and Emergency Management Services, or the DEMS, whose job it is to attend to exigencies in and around this metropolis, is experiencing a circumstance of emergency within its own management. Despite the city's efforts in 2019 to acquire more personnel by appointing 50 new firefighters at the Bedfordview Fire Station, the DEMS's currently prevailing situation is one with an extreme shortage of staff, which is hampering the expeditious rendering of services to the citizens of Ekurhuleni. A most notable reason for this is the scourge of attacks on fire brigade staff within the recent 4 years and the Gauteng South African Police Services, or SAPS, flying squad's inability to get the majority of its vehicles out of workshops and into active duty isn't helping to alleviate this tragedy. Adding to Ekurhuleni's DEMS's challenges is their tendency to fail at completing new fire station construction projects such as the Copper Park Fire Station and the Albertina Sisulu Fire Station. The former, whose commencement was in mid-April 2019 and is to cost the taxpayer 32 million rands, has been delayed due to its initial contractor's incompetence, which resulted in the appointment of a replacement contractor, while the latter, whose building started in 2016, was also thwarted 3 years later due to poor workmanship, leading to a wastage of its 30 million rands allocation, consequently leading to a damage control bidder being selected. On both occasions, instead of the designated Ekurhuleni DEMS's spokespersons admitting to their negligence in wasting ratepayers' monies considering the lag time and risen inflation rate, they both boldly stated that the city had not been adversely affected by these delays and that everything was duly controlled. Ekurhuleni's problems are proving not to be unique to this urban centre and are rather a region-wide occurrence. Up to 198,000 residents of the Merafong local municipality have had to fend with just one functioning fire truck servicing them as far back as in 2015. As recent as 3 years ago, the residents of the Fortville mining town, also in the West Rand district, have had to mitigate the prospects of their local fire station closing down due to the Merafong municipality not paying the cost of the building that this facility had been occupying for some months. We have to require the Gauteng region's executive personnel to attend to this fire station disaster, which has engulfed our province, as according to the Disaster Management Act No. 57 of 2002's Chapter 49, Part 3, Section 40, Subsection 2A's guidelines, which state, quote, 2. The provincial executive must deal with a provincial disaster, A, in terms of existing legislation and contingency arrangements, unquote. In order to have citizens of Gauteng enjoy fast and reliable service rendering from their respective municipalities, we have to vote for capable leaders who will hold the rest of the executive staff accountable for effective usage of state monies. Refilo Nseke, DA mayoral candidate for the city of Ekurhuleni, is appealing to the DEMS to improve the insufficient provision of fire stations in Ekurhuleni. Contributing another greenhouse emissions perpetuation to the long list of challenges faced by our state of South Africa, or SA, is the city of Johannesburg's, or the COJ's, signing of a 2-year power purchase agreement, or PPA, 3 weeks ago with the Kelvin coal-fired power station. Being the world's 12th greatest emitter of greenhouse gases, this is a time in which SA needs to invest in a renewable energy comprising energy mix which will be less harmful to our natural environment. Another dilemma which the COJ is a component of is the ongoing billing crisis, which has highlighted the shortcomings of city power to strip down complete and accurate statements of scores of accounts of amounts owed indicated by real-time meter readings. A body corporate of Preston Place, a high-rise building near Johannesburg's central business district, has been up to this very day been unable since the High Court's ruling in 2018 to receive from the COJ a comprehensive statement of its electricity consumption, including adjustments on this account and consolidating of any credits. This is what has led to the contempt of court fine to the worth of 500,000 rands being levelled against the COJ. Pertinent to the city power and Eskom transaction, which is unfolding, The Electricity Regulation Act No. 2 of 2006's Chapter 3, Section 26 has to be observed in order to ensure that the Johannesburg rates payers will not be held liable for undue expenses, as it specifies that, quote, Section 26, in any civil proceedings against a licensee arising out of damage, such damage or injury is deemed to have been caused by the negligence of the licensee unless there is credible evidence to the contrary, unquote. It is therefore Eskom's responsibility to conciliate the books of the respective portions of this utility, which will be sold to City Power, and this will take major efforts directed at our energy sector. Eskom's debts have been on the incline in the recent years as a result of being reliant on international financial service providers, and this national utility was a huge factor behind South Africa's main retail banks' statuses being downgraded in 2015 by Fitch and Standard & Poor's, with the reason being attributed to its condition of state capitalism induced by corrupt government cronies. In 2017, Gauteng metropolises were indebted to the state-owned electricity producer by over 500 million rand. In the month of November 2018, the DA reported that almost 100 municipalities owed Eskom more than 20 billion rands, and Finance Minister Tito Mboweni also noted this disaster by announcing during his medium-term budget policy statement a month earlier that, quote, municipalities owe more than 23 billion rands to service providers, mainly to Eskom and water service agencies, unquote. The year 2019 brought with it an announcement from State President Cyril Ramaphosa that, quote, Eskom is working with government and other stakeholders to address its overall debt as well as the debt owed by municipalities and individual users, unquote. Mpo Palate, DA Johannesburg mayoral candidate, is demanding that Eskom takes responsibility for its accrued expenses, of which are currently amounting to over 24 billion rands due to their failure to collect payments from debtors, including damaged infrastructure. Thank you.